What's up everyone? Alright, so in this video, I'm going to give you guys what you've been asking for, my TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim layout, and you can check out the link below and you can download my latest layout. Even if you're watching this a year from now or 2 years from now, you can still click the link and I'll have my updated layout available for download. Now, during the video, I'm going to walk you through the reasons that I set up the platform the way I set it up. I'm an active day trader, and so I customized the platform in order for it to be really fast and really efficient because I want to be able to get into trades quickly and get out of them quickly. So as you're going through the video, if you have any questions, please leave them below. I will come back and respond to every question and comment posted on my channel. And as always, if you love the video, give me a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get into my TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim layout. All right, so on my screen, you can see 4 different trading platforms. Right now, we're gonna talk about TD Ameritrade and how I have it set up for day trading. Now, I set it up probably a little differently from how a lot of traders would set it up, in that I actively trade in more than one account at the same time. It's kind of crazy. It's hard enough to be profitable in one account, but I trade in multiple accounts at the same time. That's kind of where I'm at as a trader. I can make more money doing that. So I've got Lightspeed on the left here. So today, for instance, I've got Lightspeed on the left and I've got TD Ameritrade on the right, and this is how I have them set up. So while I'm trading, this is the screen that I'm looking at. And I'm actually gonna show you a video here, just like a real quick clip. This is a screen recording of me trading this morning. So I was, as you can see on the left, I've got my Lightspeed, and on the right, I've got my TD Ameritrade. And right down here, you can see e-signal, the charts, and I've got scanners right here on the side. One of the things that's kind of a pain about trading is that a lot of traders end up using multiple platforms. Now, one of the nice things about TD Ameritrade, in contrast, is that they have amazing charts. So the only reason I use e-signal is because they've got great charts, and they have much better charts than Lightspeed or Sterling. Lightspeed and Sterling, these are both trading platforms that are used with boutique brokers that really cater to active day traders, like professional day traders making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And one of the ways they cater to us is by providing incredibly fast execution speeds, low latency platforms, bare bones, just fast access to the market, and discounted commissions. Well, when TD Ameritrade went commission free, it kind of changed the game for these boutique brokers. They're offering now of, discount commissions. Well, that's not as good as free, but the benefit of fast trading, that still is there. And I'll just show you, for instance, here, I'm gonna go down to my settings and my hotkeys. I can set up an order to buy 100 shares of this stock by pressing Shift 1. This is the S&P 500. Shift 1. See how fast this is going from 0 to 1,000? And now I want to sell half, Control X, Control X, Control X, Control X. I'm selling half of my open position until it's gone. So let me do that again. Up to 1,000 shares. Sell half, sell half, sell half, sell half, sell half, 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 and then the rest. You can't do that with TD Ameritrade. Not only do you not have the hotkey functionality, but the routing is not as fast. However, you can make money there. And you definitely use it for day trading, and you can see that today I'm up $5,936. And this isn't a $100,000 day trading account. I've got about $28,000 in the account. So the account's up like 25% in one day. So you can definitely day trade with TD Ameritrade. It's not gonna be quite as fast. So for you guys, if your standard for speed is a little bit lower, then you get the benefit of getting free commissions and not having to pay the $170 a month that I'm paying to use e-signal, because TD Ameritrade has awesome charts. So let me get into how I've got TD Ameritrade laid out. So this is how it looks when I log in each morning. This is the active trader window. So under monitor, you go to the left, go to trade, or go to the right, go to trade, and then over to active trader. And then this is how I have my layout kind of set up, which might be a little different from how other traders use it, because what you'll notice is that my monitor right here doesn't have any charts on it. I put my charts on a second monitor. And I do that because I like to have my open orders right in front of me, and then I put the charts up on the other screen so I look back and forth but I like to have all of my orders in one place. I've heard of some people who will set up their monitors so they have like, let's say a monitor up here like this, and then they'll float the order window above it. But I don't like that because then you gotta, be looking all over the place for your order windows, and then you gotta go look for the place where you've got your, like position window. And to me, it makes sense to keep all of that in one place, and then just easier to glance over to look at the chart. So anyways, that's how I have it set up. So for you though, if you're using TD Ameritrade as your primary platform, that means you've got all this space right here. You can take that out of the way. All right, so now we've got a little more room. Well, one of the things that's kind of interesting is if you have this set up just like this is obviously a huge amount of space under Active Trader. So what most people would do is they would go up to this little link right here, or this little button, and they would space this out a little bit more. So now we've got 4 windows. By the way, if you want my layout, I went to setup and shared it, and I put a link right in the description down below. You can click that link, and then you can download my shared layout if you want to just pop mine up there and make it fast. So what I'm going to do, I could type APDN here. Unfortunately, if I change this stock to SPY, it's not going to change this one. So what I need to do, if I want them to change together, is I need to link them with this order linking. So now I'm going to go SPY, and then I'll order link it to 4, order link this one to 4 as well. And now if I trade this one, APDN, it's going to they're all linked together, so it'll change the trade window for all 4 of them. Of course, you may say, well, I want to be watching the S&P 500 or SES or whatever the case is on this side, and on this side is a different stock, and that's whatever you prefer. So the way I would do it is I have my active trader right here. Now the reason I like this is because I want to see how many shares I'm currently holding, and I need the active trader in order to see it. If I take this away, I have my level 2, and I could put up my chart and see the chart, or put up the chart like this, but I can't tell how many shares I'm holding. I can put up the trade window here to buy and sell, but again, it's not showing me in a very obvious place how many shares I'm holding. And so instead, I use the active trading window because it shows the number of shares I've bought and sold and my position. So let's say I want to buy this stock and I want to buy 1 share. I'm going to click buy market. Buy market. So what's going on? Doesn't seem like, I can't really tell what's going on. Is my order, this says I have 2 buy orders. All right. So that's because this has the buy orders highlighted there. But this is a little confusing. Now I can't tell what's happening. If I minimize that window and move it over here for a second, you'll see that on this window, it's showing my 2 open and working orders. Now it's after hours, so I'm going to cancel that order and cancel this order. Market orders won't fill after hours. But that's kind of a problem. And so that's why I have this window down here popped out. This window is actually this whole tab. So what I did was I went up here like this, and I popped it out. So I pop it out, and then I put it right down here. That way I can always see if I have open orders. So now if I place a buy market, right away it shows me I got an open order. And then when I actually take a trade, it'll show me right away where I got filled. So I sold this stock and my fill was at $13.94. So it's very clear where I got in and where I got out. And I can certainly make this bigger if I want to. So I can see, all of the orders of where I got in and where I got out. You can make it as big or as small as you want. It's kind of whatever is enough so you see what you need to see without having unnecessary information. The only problem to me is that I wish I could have this info in here in this window, because now I have this kind of awkward situation of, how do I situate this? Do I make this like really tall like that? I guess I could, and then maybe I minimize some of these to make it so I can make it a little bit more narrow, kind of like this. I could do that, and then if I click buy market, I see it up there, and then I can cancel it right here, cancel all. So maybe that's how I would do it if I was using this as my only platform. I'd probably do something like that. And then just obviously I don't need to see the expiration. So I would go in here and remove some of those columns and kind of clean that up. All right, now you don't need 4 ladders. These are your different ladders. So, and you might want charts. And so what I would do is I would pop this off, and down here, I would put 2 charts like this. So this is how I usually have these set up. I actually typically put that chart on the bottom, so it would actually look a little different. But let's just go with this for right now. So this is my 5 minute. This is my 1 minute. So I've got the 1 minute, 1 day time frame. That's the 5 minute. And the only indicator that I need to see on this is my VWAP, the volume weighted average price. It's the most important indicator for active day trading. It's not to say you couldn't add others if you want to. The 9 and the 20 moving average are great on the 5 minute chart. The 200 moving average is great on the daily, especially important on the daily. And just to show you, this stock hit resistance at the 200 on the daily. And when we were trading it this morning, we were like, well, it has no resistance until the 200. The 200 is very well respected. And typically I wouldn't have the same stock on both sides. I just do for some reason there. In any case, so the 200 is important. So this is what my layout looks like on my charts. 1 minute, 5 minute, and daily. So to replicate that in TD Ameritrade, I'm actually gonna have to open up, I'm gonna have to go down one more row here. And I'm gonna link this to number 4 as well. And this one, I'm going to, let's see, I'm gonna just scroll up here so I can see this, take that off and put that on. So now I've got the daily chart right down here. So, oh no, sorry. This is gonna be the daily chart right there. So on this one, I'll show you, we're gonna go to studies, we're gonna go to add study, and then we're gonna go to moving average right here, and I'm gonna add the moving average exponential. All right, so now I gotta double click this, and I'm gonna change it to 200, and I'm gonna have to change that color because I really wanna do more of this like kind of like bright magenta. That catches my eye, the style, the width, I'm gonna go with 2, apply. That's looking better, there we go. See, nice and clean. All right, so now we've got our 200 moving average up there. So I'm gonna bring this back down. And I really only use the daily chart just to kind of check it in the morning. And then, you know, sort of keep an eye on it as the day goes on. Are we running into resistance levels? But I don't look at it constantly. So once I've kind of analyzed the chart, I can minimize that while I focus on the 1 minute or the 5 minute. And sometimes I'll go like this because I'm focusing more on the 1 minute right now. And then I'll say, well, let me go and check the 5 minute chart. Does the 5 minute check out? And then I kind of slide it over that way. So I go back and forth throughout the day based on time of day and stuff like that. Those of you guys, if you want to learn more about my strategy, I really encourage you to check out the links in the description. I've got an online training that is about 2 hours that walks you through how I find stocks to trade every single morning, where I get in, where I get out. I'm not going to break that down in this video right here, but if you guys want to learn about that, I encourage you to check out those links below. So this is how I would generally have it set up. And having the volume overlaid on price, that's kind of personal preference. I don't personally do that in eSignal. I have volume on a separate pane. So, you know, you'd have to go in here to your studies and edit studies and then adjust this a little bit. You got to change the settings on it. But in any case, that's kind of the nuanced stuff that's personal preference. All right, so we've got APDM now. So if I change this to the S&P 500, this will all update. And you can see it's not the fastest, but it's not terribly slow either. This I think updates a little bit faster, you know, but again, like this is it's $170 a month for eSignal. So I would hope it updates really fast, and this is free, but it's really good for free. So let's go back to APDM. All right, so APDM, so that's on the left. And then if you wanted a second stock on the right, that's where I would have the second one. Generally, and today was SNCR. So this is the one I was watching on the right-hand side. So here we're gonna change this to like that. We've got our 2 charts, and then right down here, we've got the, let's see, oh, we gotta go to number 4, or what was that? What did we link this to? Number 2 for yellow. I go by, you know, colors that I like. So then we move this up a little bit, turn that on, off, turn that on. Now we've got that. We've got to change this from a 1 minute over to the daily. And then I can jump in here and add the 200 moving average on if I want to. I'll just do it for the heck of it right now. So moving averages, and moving average exponential. Double click it once it's on there. Change that to a 2, I think is what we did. Change this to a magenta shade. Okay, apply, and there we go. Oops, that's still a 9. 200. Okay. All right, there we go. So this is kind of how I would have it laid out. Now, generally, I don't like focusing on more than 2 stocks at once. You certainly could say, you know, if you really, you could duplicate this entire window across, you know, 4 monitors and be watching, well, 2, 4, 6, 8 different stocks at the same time. If you do that, your computer's probably going to run a little bit slower. I find it to be a little more than I could even handle watching. I usually just like being zoned in on 2 stocks at once. Now, I want to show you a little bit about how I set up this area here. So I have buy market and sell market. So the buy market, that clicks that just and pops up that order. The only problem is that on a stock that's really volatile like this one, you buy market and let's say you accidentally typed in, you meant 1,000 shares and you accidentally typed in 10,000. It could be, you could get a lot of slippage. The difference between when you press it and when you actually get filled. So I kind of like using buy ask. Now, the nice thing with buy ask is that I'm getting filled at the ask price and not higher, you know, but there's some risk that my whole order won't fill. And let me show you the real-time example of that. So this is the video from this morning where I put my order. Let's see, go back to where I jumped in. So I'm going to buy this stock on the right-hand side with 3,000 shares, right around here. Okay. All right, so check this out. So I'm going to click this buy button right here, buy ask 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Just like that, I pressed it 3 times, and the order filled pretty quickly. No doubt about it. I mean, that was a pretty solid fill. But, you know, there was the risk that if the stock ripped immediately, let's say to $9, that my entire order wouldn't fill because I said I'm only willing to pay 84. So right there where it was at 87 and potentially going higher, like right here, for a second, I only have 1,400 shares. So what I have to wait is I'm now on the bid buying at 84. I've got to wait for someone to sell me shares. And someone sells me the shares, whatever, and I get filled my full 3,000. All right, so now I'm in the trade. So that's why I use buy ask. I've done both, and you know, I think they're both okay. Buy the ask feels a little safer when we're dealing with a volatile stock. So in here, you can click on this settings widget, and you can change which orders are on the first line and second line, or which buttons. So you can have buy ask, and you can add that item, and then we would just move this up to right here. And then you'll notice I have this one called join ask. So join ask means I want to sell at the ask price. So let's see, sell ask, add item, and let's just say okay. All right, so now this is on the second row, which, you know, is maybe kind of a funny place for it. I might want to, if I'm going to keep it there, move it up. So let's see, move up to maybe right here. Maybe that makes sense. Buy ask, buy market, sell market, join ask, and then cancel. All right, so that's probably a better way to do it. And I'll actually update that on my side here, and then let's see, move that up. I'm still kind of fine-tuning how I want to use the platform and what makes the most sense. All right, so and then we've got, do I have 2 cancel? Oh, I have the cancel all. I have cancel and then cancel all. Cancel all is actually better than cancel because cancel ... brings up that second window. And since I'm only trading 1 stock at a time, cancel all is perfect. All right, so we're gonna say okay there. The template, I actually don't personally use any of the templates. You can use the templates for bracket orders. I just don't like to use them for the way that I'm trading. I tried it and I didn't find it particularly helpful. So those ones I take off as well. Remove item, and okay. So we'll say okay. So now there's probably a way to
save this as a default, but I'm not totally sure what that is. So I'll just remove this quickly and oops, cancel that. All right, settings. There we go. So remove item, and then we're going to add the cancel all. Add, and then we'll move that up. And we'll kick that one off. Okay, there we go. So, and I personally, I haven't used the reverse. So I'm going to take that one off, and I actually haven't used the flatten, although I've heard that that's a helpful key, because when you press flatten, it gets you out of the position. Even if you have like sort of an odd number of shares, it just immediately gets you right out. So maybe I'll move that up to, I don't know, next to, I'll put it next to the sell the ask one. Okay. So this is, I would say this is almost exactly how I would use it. This setting right here, you can see mine is a little bit cleaner on the left, and this one on the right that preloaded has got a little more stuff going on. I felt that I didn't really need to see the buy orders here because I'm using the level 2 on my other window. So I guess that's the one thing that we still don't have here is whether or not you want to be using level 2, which I think is a must-have. So let's see. That's not the right one. It's right here. Customize. So we're going to take away remove, and I'm going to remove volume, and I'm going to remove sell orders. So I'm going to simplify it a little bit. Now the level 2, you know, we're starting to run out of a little bit of space here. So I'd probably end up saying, well, once I've looked at my daily chart, I don't really need to see it anymore. The level 2 window, that's not going to work there. Let's bring this down a little bit. So I'd probably end up putting it right down here and shrinking it down kind of like that. Okay, so just like that. And I'm going to give you guys a link so you can download this exact layout. If you want to take it and then kind of mess around with it, you're welcome to do that. So in the morning when I'm doing my pre-market analysis, I don't need the active trader turned on, so I'd kind of move this whole section up. I'd focus on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the daily. Then once I've analyzed the daily, I'd probably bring that down a little bit, shrink it down, focus more on the 5 minute and the 1 minute, bring this down a little bit, use the active trader a little bit. I've done some of the pointing and clicking, which means right here you click this and it's just sending an order right away. Turn on the click auto send if you want to send orders instantly. So let's check out this live recording again. So when I decided I wanted to start getting out, what I did was I put an order. I was expecting that this stock, if it broke over $9, which was the sort of technical resistance area here, that it would probably rip really quickly up to at least 924, 925. So what I went ahead and did was I put a sell order at 920 and 924. So let me go back to where I placed that order. So I'm scrolling up here and I click once and I click twice. And now see how I have 2 working orders? The price is at 920 and 924. All right, so those orders are working. When the stock ends up ripping through 9, boom, it rips through 9. I think I tried to add in this account. I'm not sure what happened, but in any case, it rips through, and as soon as it rips through, I'm gonna get my order filled. Watch that, just like that, boom, my order's filled at 920. And the current price is 920 by 922. So the active trader here, I think is helpful for, you know, quickly throwing an order up on the ask. Now, of course, in Lightspeed, I could just type, you know, I could just click like this and then click sell. But I don't have this type of order entry window. So given that I don't have that, I kind of have to work with what I have. I would say that in terms of using space, this is taking up a little more space than I wish it needed to. But, you know, it's just kind of the way it is. So you make the most of it. And I think that this is a good way to have TD Ameritrade set up. And this would give me trading on 2 different stocks at the same time with the orders window here so I can see what's going on. Now, excuse me, I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips on settings. Number 1, application settings. Go here, make sure on Active Trader, this is set to 0. Order submission rate limit is 0. If you have it set at 500, what's gonna happen is if you double click this, the first order goes through and the second one asks you to approve it because you've exceeded the order rate, the order submission rate. So I'm gonna cancel those orders. So now I'm gonna go back in here to setup. I'm gonna bring that back down to 0. And what will happen is now I can click this twice and I've got 2 orders. I click it 5 times, I've got 5 orders. So it makes it much faster to get in and get out as you need to. The second tip, go to application settings, go to system, and if it's not already set to a real-time quote speed, make sure you set it to real time. That is a really important setting, all right? Now, let's see. So we've got this laid out. Again, the one thing I really wish is they give us an ability to change the color settings here on the level 2. And I really do wish I had an ability to have an order prepared, because what I often do in this account here is I say, oh, I'm thinking about buying APDN, let's say at 1521 or 1525. I put the order ready to go, and then I put it at 1,000 shares. Well, with TD, you can't really do that. I mean, you could kind of do it by clicking here, turning off the auto send, and clicking here to buy, and then it brings this up. And then you click edit and you're now editing the order, but that feels so clunky. I mean, and it's taking up all this space. So I really don't like that. It unfortunately is kind of one of those things that if you really want to make the most of the free commissions, you have to accept some sacrifices on the platform side. And one of them is going to be some execution speed sacrifice. It's not going to be as fast as Lightspeed. This platform is faster, hands down. It just is. And any platform, any broker you're using Sterling with is going to be faster. You will be able to trade like this. You just can't trade that fast with TD. But it's a great platform if you kind of focus on one good quality entry and then one, good quality exit, kind of a little bit less active, but more precise. And being picky is not a bad thing as a trader. So again, I really encourage you guys to check out some of the links in my description if you want to attend the online training where I walk you through how I find these stocks to trade, where I'm getting in, where I'm getting out. I think you'll learn a lot from it. And if you want to download this shared workspace, I will put a link below where you can jump over. I'll keep the most updated link on my website so you can jump over there and download it. And if you guys have suggestions of things that maybe I could do to get this platform running even better for me, feel free to leave them below. I'm not an expert on it by any means, but I've been testing it out and getting a little bit of a sense of how it works, and I've been pretty happy with it. So so you click here and detach this if you want to pop this out and float it to a different monitor. All right, so as always, questions, comments, leave them below, and I'll see you guys for the next video.
Hey, it's me again. The most popular video on day trading on YouTube was made by me. You can check it out below if you haven't already. And as always, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I personally respond to every question that's posted on my channel.